All right, if you're watching this video, then you're trying to make your first model submission on the SAI platform. So to get started, we have a terminal window here, and then we have the SAI dashboard on the side. So we will first get started by installing the CLI. This will allow us to authenticate with SAI, as well as create templates for us to start working with. So we'll first go to the documentations page, which you'll see in the nav bar up here. And we'll go into the install step. So this is installing the CLI. So we have two install methods at the moment. So for Linux and Mac OS, we are using Homebrew. And then with Windows, we're using Scoop. So right now I'm using Mac OS. So Linux should follow really closely with the steps I'm going to go through. Right now, we hope to expand the different ways and the different package managers that you can use to install SAI. However, at the moment, we're just using Homebrew, so Linux on ARM-based systems doesn't work at the moment. That's what this note is about here. So to get started, we'll need to install Homebrew. Right now, I already have Homebrew installed, so I'll go through the two steps here. So I'll first tap our repository. I'll update brew, and then I'll install SAI. And then with that, we have SAI installed. If I type in SAI, I can see it right here. If I type in SAI version, I can see that we're using v0.0.21. So now in order to use it, we'll have to authenticate. So we'll come back to the platform, and we'll go into our user dropdown. We'll click account settings, access tokens, and this is where we can create API tokens to authenticate our CLI. So click on create token. I'll just type in demo. By default, it expires in 30 days, but you can change it however you like here. So we'll create it, and then you'll see there's a little copy icon right here. If you click this, it'll copy it to your clipboard. So now if I type in SAI login, it'll ask us to paste this API token in. So I'll paste it in, enter, and now it can see that it authenticated with me. I can see that this is my name and my email from here. So I'll go ahead and clear this. And now we can get started with the Get Started guide. So we'll first do the SAI create project. And we'll just go through all the steps here. So I'll do my awesome project. And now there's two different types of templates we have. So we have one that is just initiating an environment. If you come to the SAI platform over here, we can see all of our environments here. This will just be basically initiating one of these so that you can then train benchmark locally, but you can't submit it because there's no leaderboard or competition behind one of these per se. And then the other option here is the competition submission flow. So instead of initializing with one of these, we're initializing with a competition. And then this allows you to then submit via the Python code. So I'll select this option just to show the submission flow. And then for package managers, we have two primary ones. We have the option to use UV or Conda or none. None basically just doesn't pre-install anything for you. So if you select none, in the documentation, at the bottom of the install step, you'll see the Python installation. This is how you install the Python package manually, which you will need to do if you click none. However, if you have Conda or UV installed, we can use one of these. I'll use UV as I tend to like it myself. Now we'll see a small list of environments here. This won't have every environment on the platform. I'll show you how to change this later on, but for now, we're just gonna use Squid Hunt. And then we'll see a few options pop up here for the ML framework. Right now, as I'm recording this on June 23rd, PyTorch and stable baselines are our most stable frameworks, and TensorFlow Keras is stable as well. The other two that we see here that are experimental, we have some issues with them. So if you run into any issues, we have this button up here called Get Help. And if you click on it, you'll see it basically sends you to a Discord server. And this Discord server will be offering like any help or any troubleshooting on issues. We know there's some issues with these two versions right now. So I'd stay away from it right now. PyTorch is the one I'll be selecting right now. So we can see it installs everything and it created the directory. So if I just cd into this directory and then run the command as right here and run this, it will basically create your first submission for you. We'll open that file in a second, but we'll just watch this go. So what it's doing is it's fetching everything. It is then updating our package with the environment installed. And now we're watching our model. It's not anything crazy because it didn't really train for long. But we'll see it start benchmarking here. A thing to note is it does benchmark in 100 different environments, and the score is an average amongst all of those episodes. Depending on your computer, this may take a little bit. You can change the amount of environments. I'll show that in a second as well, but I'm just going to pause the video until this is done. All right. So basically, as soon as it finished here, it prints out everything, all the results from the benchmark, and then it will submit the model. So I can see it submitted as my first model. So if I come back to the dashboard page, I can now see that this is now running. And while it's running on the server, let me pop into the code here. So we'll see that this is pretty much all that's happening here. So we instantiate SAI, the SAI client here, and we pass in the competition ID. If you want to change the competition or use like a different competition, you can always come to the platform, browse the different competitions, let's say Pong, for example, and we can copy the competition ID. And if we come back here, we can paste it in. And then we create the environment. This creates a gymnasium environment that we can then use. The action function is for when you want to have custom action functions. By default, we use argmax in the backend, but you can change this to whatever you like. The restriction is it must use NumPy. And then we can see what happened in this CLI. We first watched our model. That's what made it pop up. We then benchmarked it, and then we submitted it. And all we passed in was the name, the model, and our action function. So we come back here, we can still see it's running. So while it's running, I'll also quickly show if you wanted to just use a environment, or if you selected the environment step here in the template creation, it would then just use the direct competition ID. So like the squid hunt, if we copy the environment ID instead, we can instantiate it like this, which will work until you try and submit, and then it will stop you because it doesn't know which competition you're trying to submit to. And yeah, we'll just, we can see it finished here. We can now click into it and we can explore a little bit. So like I said before, we run 100 different matches. So we can see the different bins of all of our scores. I only submitted once, but if you have multiple submissions here, you'll be able to see the progress of the submissions. You can also click into the table view as we group submissions together. And then we can also see the video replay. We store 3 different videos. We store the best video, we store the average video, and the worst video. So you can select between these to see what happened. Let's click on the best and see what happened here. I'm assuming it just got really lucky. Yeah. Yeah, it got pretty lucky with this one. Where if I click the worst, I'm assuming it just runs into something right away. Yeah, okay. And then we can also see the logs here. If there's anything that goes wrong with your model, it will show an error status here, and you'll be able to click into it and it'll show the logs and also the error response. So this will let you help you troubleshoot anything with the model. And yeah, with that, you should have your very first model submitted on the SAI.